Hello, my name is Sip Mendes. I'm going to show you how to make one of these. A 3-tone train whistle. We're going to start with a blank that's 8 inches long and 1 3/4 inches in diameter. Let's go over to the lathe and we'll get started. The first thing we need to do is measure off 1.5 inches. This is going to be our cap and our mouthpiece. So next I'm going to part off the cap using a 1/8 inch parting tool, and I'm turning it at 900 RPMs. I'm not going to part it all the way. I'm going to go ahead and cut it with a razor saw. I don't want to cut it all the way through because it might flop around and get jammed against the parting tool. Using a 3/8 bowl gouge, I'm going to go ahead and hollow out the cap. And using a 1/2 inch straight chisel, I'm going to make a slight recess. It only needs to be about 1/8 of an inch deep. With a 3/8 brad point bit mounted in my drill chuck and tailstock, I'm going to turn my speed down to about 500 RPMs. And I'm going to drill a hole 1.5 inches deep. Okay, turning at 900 RPMs, I'm going to go ahead and use a detail spindle gouge and roughly turn the exterior of the cap. See if I can do this left-handed, see if I can catch the cap. So I will measure my cap. Okay. And then I will turn it down. Okay. A little bit more. Let's try that. Let's try that. Okay, that'll give me a nice tight fit. Okay, I'm going to mark some circles that'll help me drill my holes. The first circle will be about 1/16 of an inch in, and the next one's about 1/8. So that's the first one, is a 1/16, 1/8, and 1/8. I'm going to mark the number 1 jaw. We'll draw a line on each side, and we'll draw an arrow to the center of that jaw to help us align it. I'm going to go ahead and remove the block and take it to the drill press. And as you can see, the circles. I went ahead and mounted the body for my whistle on my drill press. Now I'm going to drill 3 holes. I drew lines across to segment it into 6 sides, into 6 sections, but I'm only going to use every other one. The first hole will be 4 inches deep. That's as deep as my drill press can go. I'll back out the bit frequently to empty out any debris and help reduce the squeaking. I will drill 2 more holes. They're going to be 3.5 and then 3 inches. And that'll give me 3 different tones. The 4-inch hole is going to give us the lowest tone. The 3.5 will give us a medium tone, and the 3-inch will give us the highest pitch tone. Now I'm going to mark off a 1/2 inch from the end and 1 inch from the end. This will mark where I'm going to cut down into the chambers, and this is where I will cut at a 45-degree angle to meet that cut. Take a 1/8 inch parting tool, and we're going to cut down until we hit the chambers, and we just barely want to get started. You can usually hear it when you hit the chambers because you hear a thumping sound. Now we're going to cut the 45-degree angle cut from this line to the edge of the chamber. I've only cleaned them out just slightly so you can see them a little bit better. I'm going to make the reeds out of 3/8 dowel rod. I'm going to cut off about 1/3 and then leave a small section so I can turn, push, and tune the reeds. I'm going to clean out the chambers using a little dowel rod with a little slot in it and a small piece of sandpaper. And this will help get rid of some of the burrs. If you simply blow through it, you don't get anything. This is the little reed I cut. It's just a little piece of dowel rod. It's cut down about less than a third of the way through. So it's got one flat side. You push them in, and you leave this little extra on here. This is to adjust them in, out, or turn them. And so now you get a tone. I'm going to do that for the other two. Okay. I'm going to apply a little bit of just plain wood carpenter's glue to my reed. And just a little bit in the hole. I'll spread that around with a little peg and in the hole here. Now I'm going to go ahead and stick this back in there, remove any excess glue, line it up to where I had it. I know it'll whistle. Now that all three reeds have had time to dry, I'm going to go ahead and cut off the excess with my little razor saw. I'm going to go ahead and clean up the end and sand it slightly. I'm going to apply a coat of sanding sealer. This is a lacquer-based sanding sealer, and it's going to help harden the wood, and that'll keep it from over sanding and keep it from splintering around the reeds. I'm only going to put sanding sealer around the reeds and the recess that I cut in here. Go ahead and put some. I'm going ahead and put a little bit of sanding sealer on this end too, and that will help with moisture. It'll keep the moisture out. Seeds. Don't need very much. Just needs to have just a little bit in there. So I'll find my dark stripe next to a white stripe. I'll line those up. Okay. I'm going to pull up my tail piece and press it on. So now I'm ready to turn the outside. It's been sitting for about 10 minutes and drying. And I'm going to turn at 900 RPMs, and I'm just going to go ahead and use a round nose scraper. And work on the cap. Round it off, do it up, and start on the mouthpiece. To hide the seam, I'm going to go ahead and cut a groove where the two pieces are joining. Can't make it very deep. And again, I'm going to true it up. I'm going to give this end a slight onion shape. With my parting tool, I'm going to mark where the vessel is going to be cut off. At this point, I don't want to cut it too deep. I just want to be able to know where to shape and round the bottom. I'm going to cut a groove at about 1/4 inch. And the same near the bottom. I want the mouthpiece to have a little bit more of a bell shape. And I want this to be round and smooth. I went ahead and sanded it with 150, 220, and 320. Gave it a coat of sanding sealer and 1 coat of satin lacquer varnish. Now I'm ready to go ahead and part off the whistle. Okay. So I'll do this left-handed. And there it is. Now just go ahead and sand the base a little bit, and it's all done. Sounds good. Okay, there you go. Well, thank you for watching.